Mabuhay. Mabuhay. I'm wishing you life. The story is all about life. And this story is all about vulnerability. When I was thinking, what should I talk about? I can talk many things. But when was the last time you talk about your vulnerability? When was the last time you talk about your breakdowns? When was the last time you just let emotions flow? It's very important that in the story that we tell, we don't just touch the head. It's very important that we touch the heart. Why I'm being emotional now? This is not a class, this is not a drama, but this is me being vulnerable and being brave in terms of accepting this vulnerability. Why? Because on your journey as a storyteller, you will hear words, you will hear naysayers, you will hear people telling you, who are you to say that? What right do you have? You will even question yourself, why I am here, why I am given this chance to share my story. And if you let that inner voice, that inner vulnerability become victorious, you will never be able to tell your story. I always tell my people, we have our story, but it is us who needs to tell that story. Your story, your control. Let me ask you again. When was the last time you feel vulnerable? When was the last time you let this vulnerability just flow with it? Stories are not created here. Stories are always created in our heart. It should steer the emotion. It should steer you to take action. When people ask me, Apple, Allison, Ali, what is Soul Searching Soul? Is it a dating site? No. It's about making a difference one ship at a time. Because when I was going through my quarter life crisis, when I was being groomed to handle different companies, I asked myself, is this all that I am? Is this all that I can do? By questioning myself, I'm also able to explore that vulnerable emotions. I see a lot of young crowd here. Ask yourself, what do you really care about? Ask yourself, what do you really, really care about? Identify your passion. And do not be afraid to take or chase after your passion. I've heard many people told me before, Apple, you could have just stayed in the corporate world. You could have just, pursue everything and have this salary. But is it the salary that I'm after for? Or is it I'm after the community? Is it I'm after steering the hearts? So in my soul searching soul journey, there's no really there's no formula about it. In storytelling, we have our own journey to take on. You just really have to focus on what steers your heart. What steers your heart? And how you can use this steering to also inspire others to take action. Because stories that's told and heard without action, for me, will be useless effort. Your stories must be able to steer actions, must be able to steer community to take pride in what they're doing. So yes, Soul Searching Soul started way back in 2012 as a blog, as a way for me to say to the HR, hey, if ever you hire me back, I have done something. For the past 2 years of my life, it was supposed to be an alibi. an alibi why I'm asking and wondering and traveling. But then I realized in Soul Searching Soul, among all the things that I've been doing, among all the things that I want to do, I was able to streamline it into three passions: tourism, technology, transformation. Once you're able to identify your three passions, ask yourself, how can you turn these passions into purpose? How can you make it a purposeful passion? By combining the three: tourism, technology, transformation, I was able to come up with making a difference one trip at a time. Because making a difference one trip at a time starts with myself. By knowing who am I, why I'm feeling this, I just spent a few days in Cochin, Fort Cochin. I asked my tour operator, can you bring me to a village? So they brought me to Kumarakum. And when I visited Kumarakum, I saw the village life. But they're not telling their stories. They're showing it. If it was partnered with stories, it would have been more powerful because it's not just visuals. So be very careful with the words that you use. Even if it's not in English, but as long as there's someone telling the story. That's why in my soul searching soul journey, I also started to transform young communities, young people. Be your own storytellers. If you will follow me in social media, some of you might say, hey, what you've been posting are your selfies. Well, welcome to the Philippines. We're the selfie capital of the world. However, okay, you have to turn around things. As storytellers, you have the power, not only in your hand, but in your head, in your heart, to turn around things. So from selfie, from vanity, we make it more meaningful. I made it more meaningful. Yes, people click on my selfie, but I made sure there are some advocacies involved with it. So some of you might be wondering and might be also thinking, oh, maybe I should have a blog. Oh, maybe I should have a TikTok. I heard TikTok is still banned here. Okay, so let's forget TikTok. Maybe I should have my YouTube channel. Please, as you become storytellers, as you transform yourselves as young community champions, champion the voices within you. Be real, be authentic. Even if that authenticity means being vulnerable. If I feel like crying, that's how I am now. If I feel like crying at that moment because that's what's steering my heart, let it be. And then after I'll say, oh, I'm sorry. But sometimes, in storytelling, I think it's something that we must also look at. Emotions. Energy in motion. It's not just words, but it's energy in motion. So what kind of energy you'd like to evoke? And how will you be able to tell your story? I decided not to have a presentation. Because one thing that I realize now, many people, we are distracted in a highly connected world. Correct? We look at the presentation, you'll take a snap. Sometimes you'll even ask, ma'am, can I have a copy of your presentation? Right? That's what's happened. So now, what I usually do is, I would usually have props with me. Everything that I'm wearing have a story. That's why sometimes when people said, oh, that looks lovely, then I'll start telling where this come from, what is this from, who made this, who made that. So you, as you try to globalize, just few days I watched a video. It says that India have overpassed China in terms of population. If you are becoming the superpower of this world, what kind of story you want to be told? What is true to you? And how can you showcase it? Because everywhere I go now, I wear my story. I don't just tell it, I show it and wear it. So everything that you will see, if you notice me, everything I can pinpoint. So what I'm saying is, Tell the story of your community. If it's something wearable, wear it. So, back to Fort Cochin. So, it's Cochin Benale, right? And I saw a local man sketching. And I said, okay, I'd like to avail that. But you know what? Just like they said, pictures are very powerful. It cannot lie. I would always think I'm a smiley face. But how come in this, maybe because I was so tired also, but your eyes really speaks a lot. When I was looking at it, and I say, okay, I can see sadness. I can see tiredness. I can see a whole wide range of emotion. So become an artist that captures the heart, an artist that can see through your eyes, that can see through your souls. And as you do that, once again, I'm encouraging you. Embrace your vulnerability. Embrace it because it's going to be your power. The moment that you deepen your self awareness, the moment that you deepen your self understanding, it will lead you to your self mastery. So, no matter what naysayers will say, let them be. For you are the one to explore your vulnerability. Let your breakdowns become your breakthroughs. And constantly challenge yourself. If you've already done phase one, phase two, challenge yourself. In my soul searching soul journey now, I told myself, okay, it's been 10 years. So what? I've been telling my stories. I've been inspiring other people and motivating them. Now, the next phase of the journey is I will no longer be the one to tell the stories. But it's you and the other people who are inspired to tell their stories so that I can just curate. And by curating it, we're creating a community of storytellers. That's why when I was invited to present here, I say, yeah. Because hopefully, through your stories, you'll also be able to promote cross-cultural understanding and promotion. It's very powerful. The way that we can understand each other is through our stories, through your words, through your gestures. So thank you. Thank you for giving me this chance. Thank you for allowing me to express, for being vulnerable in front of you. Thank you. Because of that, I hope as you create your stories, if I asked you earlier, what do you really care about? Now, I'd like to ask you, as you finish or at least put a chapter in your story, how would you like to be remembered? What do you really care about? Work on that story, work on that community, empower others. And as you end a chapter, it's not a book, it can be a chapter, it's always a progress, right? So, how would you like to be remembered? In my case, I'd like to be remembered because of this, because of love. I love telling stories. I love feeling the emotion. I love life. So live in light and love, they always say, right? And hopefully, through your powerful stories, there'll be more love in this world. Use your stories to stir the hearts. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat. That's how we say thank you very much in Filipino. Maraming salamat and namaste.